Well, our office is in charge of prosecuting all crimes in Bristol County, from Attleboro down to New Bedford. Those primarily all criminal cases, anywhere ranging from minor motor vehicle offenses to murder. But in addition, especially the last decade or so, 5 to 10 years, our office has become very engaged in the community. There seems to be a need, greater need for the DA's presence in the community relating to different things such as drug abuse, underage drinking, domestic violence, and also an initiative that I am pushing forward, elder financial fraud, to educate the community as best we can and at least plant a seed so that people can avoid some things that hopefully will not result in us getting involved, which would mean there'd be a criminal matter that would come to be. For this area, in April, we have a murder case scheduled to start. Gamboa, this is a homicide in Bedford in the South End that occurred about 3.5 years ago. That's one of the bigger cases. I would say we have the co-defendant of Aaron Hernandez, Wallace. He is going to trial in approximately 6 weeks, March 1st. So Hernandez was convicted in April. He was one of the co-defendants, so his trial is scheduled to start in Fall River March 1st. So that's probably from a publicity point of view, the biggest case, or most noteworthy case. But we have that Gamboa case scheduled to start in April, and some other homicides. There's one from Fall River in March, and other more serious cases that would not be homicides, but that are scheduled. We have 2 trials going on now. One is a shooting from Attleboro. Another one is a drug case from New Bedford. They're all important. There's different levels to them. A level of the importance, obviously, when a human life is taken, that is the most serious. But there are many other very serious cases. With respect to homicides, we've had a very good record in the last few years, solving them, investigating and solving them, and prosecuting them successfully in Superior Court. Well, I think there's a couple of aspects to that. Number one, there are neighborhood groups that monitor their neighborhoods and bring issues to the police. They meet regularly. I've attended some of the meetings. There is a police officer assigned as a liaison to those groups, so certainly they can make known to the police what's going on, and the police follow up on it. In general, there can be a hesitancy to report crimes for fear of retribution or the notion that I don't want to inform on someone, and we've tried to break that over the last 9 years by, if appropriate, charging people with essentially impeding an investigation. In many cases, a homicide investigation, by withholding information and making false statements. Citizens have an obligation to come forward and report the crime for the good of society. Unfortunately, in many cases, people may not want to do that for a variety of reasons. But I think from that point of view, we've been able to do it. And in general, I think people have to be concerned about their community and neighborhood. And if something is amiss, if there's crime going on, they should report it so it can be addressed, because it all will enhance the quality of life of people in New Bedford, in particular cities and surrounding communities. Well, I think there's several initiatives we're working on. Number one, we're trying to get drug drop-off bins in all police stations in Bristol County. And the primary focus on that is prescription pills that have been prescribed by physicians to people, and often there are more pills than necessary prescribed, and they're put in the medicine cabinet, and unfortunately people have access to them, younger people, family members, and that can set them off on the road to addiction. So I think that's an initiative we're working on, and we're making progress. They've started a drug court that we are involved in Fall River now. There was one in New Bedford we participate by overseeing the cases. That's designed for people who could benefit from strict supervision and conditions that would keep them either out of jail or defer them maybe after a short commitment to real treatment and probation monitoring, and hopefully move them out of the addiction cycle and help make them productive members of society. There's a case that just was resolved in which I'm going to have an individual, as part of the conditions of probation, go with me on occasion to speak, who's experienced this, the drug addiction, and who can give some insights to what happened, how it happened, which could be more compelling coming from him. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And working with other agencies. I think Attorney General Healy has come out with an announcement today about some policies with respect to the opioid crisis. It's a complicated issue. It takes a number of agencies working together to try to solve it, from the outside of the court system to treatment, prescription, education. Education is one of my focuses, again, to try to get out in the schools. I think it appears, sadly, you've got to get to a younger student body much earlier than you would suspect to discuss the perils of drug use and what it can lead to. We have a baseball clinic that we do annually that's coming up, I believe, March 12th for the first third of March at New Bedford Voc. We also are sponsoring, which is a little different, a scope of pain training for private care physicians to discuss the appropriate levels of prescriptions, what is safe for effective prescription practices. That's a big issue that the legislature is tackling. There's legislation that's been approved and is up on Beacon Hill about the level of prescriptions, how long they should last, because there seems to be a clear indication that there is an overprescription of drugs, particularly the painkillers, the opiates and opioids, that can trigger people to become addicted, and it's very difficult to get off those painkillers once you become addicted. And there's other events we'll do. I'm sort of continuously going out in the community on elder abuse initiatives. Council on Aging I just went to today in Brookline Park. Earlier this month I went to Hazelwood Park to address a group of seniors there about the issues of financial fraud and abuse, scams. That's going to continue throughout the year, but in particular focus on it the first few months of this year. And we have we have events that are more conditioned to the outside, the warmer weather, which we had sponsored in September. But those are the primary events we have for the winter season through March.